Baby Yoda. 80% force awesomeness and 90% adorable merchandising opportunity that you can't not love. In fact, I feel like for this video, I don't even need to do anything. I just need to show you a bunch of clips of Baby Yoda and you guys will love it. So, what am I talking for? Let's go.
Stop touching things.
No, I actually need to have an idea. Okay, so let's talk about Baby Yoda. Most importantly, who is Baby Yoda? Where did he come from? And why does the Empire seem to want him so much? That's what we're going to discuss in today's episode of Constant Review. The Mandalorian is a new series on Disney Plus that introduced us to many new characters in the Star Wars universe. The protagonist, Mando, is a bounty hunter who adopts the style of the Mandalorians, and according to his creed, never takes off his helmet or shows his face. But despite this impairment, the character of Mando really does manage to show some deep, profound emotions, and manages to convey a lot more emotions than some actors who have the full facial visibility. But despite this, it seems that Mando would fail at one battle, the battle to win our hearts, because the Mandalorian would go on to introduce one of the most adorable new members of the Star Wars universe, Baby Yoda. Now, of course, Baby Yoda is not his actual name, as throughout the series of The Mandalorian, we have yet to actually have a name given to him. Yet this character seems to have paramount importance in the Mandalorian series. He is the main motivation for the entire show so far, but despite the entire first season coming to an end and dramatic reveals appearing over and over again, we have still yet to answer the question, why does the Empire even want him? I mean, he's just a baby after all. And based off of what we've learned about him, he's 50 years old, meaning it's going to be at least another century before Baby Yoda can be particularly useful as a fighter in the Star Wars universe. So the first thing we have to look at when we investigate our little troublemaker is, where did he come from? The Star Wars universe gives us little to no information about Yoda's species or his home planet. We find out in Empire Strikes Back that Yoda lives on Dagobah, though there's no confirmation in the Star Wars universe that that means that Yoda's species comes from Dagobah. It's just where he chose to make his home, presumably because of its connection with the Force. In addition to Yoda, the only other member of Yoda's species we see in the Star Wars series is a female version of his species known as Yaddle. This member is only shown in the prequel trilogy and doesn't have lines and can only be seen in the background of some shots. So there you have it. There's a male and a female of Yoda's species. Does that mean these two can be Baby Yoda's parents? And the answer to that is extremely unlikely. For one, Yoda was over 850 years old at the time, and for another, the Jedi are forbidden from having familial attachments and relationships, so the idea that Yoda would break this order is unspeakable and just wouldn't happen in the Star Wars universe. So who are Baby Yoda's parents? And the answer to that is something we just have no answer to as of yet. However, there is something inherently interesting about Baby Yoda's age. When we're introduced to the character, we're told that Baby Yoda is 50 years old.
Wait, they said 50 years old.
This seemingly is just an offhand comment about how odd it is and how Mando expected to be looking for an old man and was surprised when he discovered that his target was in fact an infant. But in fact, there's so much more to this seemingly throwaway line than meets the eye. We know that The Mandalorian takes place 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. If we keep tracing that back through the film series, we find that back in The Phantom Menace, Baby Yoda would have been 9 years old, Which, if that seems familiar to you, it should. That puts Baby Yoda's age as the exact same age as Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader. So do you think it's a coincidence that this powerful Force user, Baby Yoda, was born in the same year as Darth Vader?
His cells have the highest concentration of midichlorians I have seen in a life form. It is possible he was conceived by the midichlorians.
And that might give us a little bit of information as to why the Empire wants him. If our new cuddly friend, Baby Yoda, has power on the same level as Darth Vader, he could be a new rallying point for the Empire, a new Dark Lord to bring them into the new era. But this, of course, has other issues, and that's Yoda's very long lifespan. We know that in the last 50 years, he's developed to roughly a 5-year-old, which means it appears that his species ages about 10 times slower than our own. Therefore, counting on Baby Yoda's ability to bring back the Empire would be playing a very, very long game, as he wouldn't even be useful as a fighter for another century or so. So, if he can't be used to fight and he can't be used to lead, why on earth would they want Baby Yoda, especially dead or alive? Well, today I'm going to posit the answer is explained to us way back in The Phantom Menace, with same with Anakin. Midichlorians. Yep, I know, midichlorians. The least favorite word in the Star Wars canon, and something that a lot of Star Wars fans have tried to forget. For those who don't remember, midichlorians, as explained by Qui-Gon, are
Midichlorians are a microscopic life form that resides within all living cells. Without the midichlorians, life could not exist, and we would have no knowledge of the Force. They continually speak to us, telling us the will of the Force.
As an extremely powerful, extremely Force-sensitive person, Anakin Skywalker had the highest midichlorian count on record, far exceeding that of Yoda. If it's possible that Baby Yoda has a similarly high midichlorian count, that could be an explanation for his insanely high and powerful use of the Force.
The reading is off the chart. Over 20,000.
Even Master Yoda doesn't have a midichlorian count that high.
No Jedi has.
But more importantly, could explain why the Empire was trying to perform medical experiments on this infant. What if the Empire is trying to find a way to extract these midichlorians? If midichlorians are the way that an individual can commune with and use the Force, it stands to reason that if you were to find a way to extract the midichlorians from one individual and give them to another, you could theoretically transfer Force sensitivity from one person to another. By doing that, you could, for example, take the powers of the Force that we see in this infant who can barely control them and give them to someone else who seems to want to have those powers for himself. So guys, that's my theory, and that's what we have today. The Empire wants to use Baby Yoda and extract his Force abilities in order to create their own Sith Lord. So guys, what do you think? Am I onto something, or have I been indulging in a little too much Mandalorian wine? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on Constant Review.